All right, so Treylon Burks has been on injury reserve for 4 games, 5 weeks when you include the bye, with a turf toe that happened on October 2nd in Indianapolis. And so turf toe, we talked to I did a doc talk segment with the Bone and Joint Institute that week about it. And the conversation was really about that grade 2 turf toe situation there. And so I actually do have a video that will play from that doc talk about Treylon Burks and his turf toe before we get to the Mike Vrabel update from Monday.
Yeah, there are grades. So we grade a turf toe injury, a grade 1, a grade 2, and a grade 3, 1 being the mildest, 3 being the most severe. Grade 1 is where you stretch the ligaments, but you don't really tear them. 2, you have a little more injury and some tearing of the ligaments, but the joint is still nice and stable, but just more injured. And then a grade 3, a lot of times you're actually tearing the ligaments completely. You could even fracture a bone. The toe could be dislocated. 3s are obviously really severe injuries. It doesn't sound like, from what we hear, that Treylon had that type of injury. Even a grade 1 may keep you out of play for a week or 2 or 3. Grade 2s maybe 3 to 6 weeks, depending on how quickly they respond to therapy and treatment. But it sounds like his was a more mild 1 or 2 type of injury.
So mild 1 or 2 means 3 to 6 weeks. We're sitting here at 5 weeks from that spot when he hurt the turf toe. So that's right there from the Bone and Joint Institute, our great partner there to help us out with those doc talk situations. But here's Mike Vrabel on Treylon Burks from Monday.
Window for Treylon this week? Or?
We'll see. We'll see how he's feeling. He has worked extremely hard, and to stay in shape and condition, take care of his body, lift, mentally. I think this is just the best that he's been from a standpoint of handling distraction, which is something different and sometimes new for young players. So I will say that whenever he's ready, I'm excited for him to get back out there, and we'll see where that is this week, because he's been in here, he's been on time, he's done everything that we've asked him to do, worked hard, and we'll just have to see where he's at physically.
What do you think about that comment there, Sam, from Mike Vrabel? He said a lot of good things about Treylon Burks.
Yeah, well, one, it sounds like we'll know today, because he said we'll see where that is this week. Today's the first day of practice this week. We'll see if Treylon's in the locker room and on the field. So that is a big development, even bigger than I probably let on at the beginning of the show, to see where Treylon Burks is, because the Titans getting him back would certainly be a sight for sore eyes for a lot of Titans fans that have been watching this wide receiver group. What I do think about that, though, is what you said. He's saying a lot of good things about Treylon Burks. For those of you that have not been watching all of Mike Vrabel's press conferences, that weren't really in tune with what Vrabel was saying about Treylon Burks early on, when he was dealing with the whole conditioning thing and the whole injury thing and not being on the practice field and all of this stuff, anytime he was asked for an update, it was kind of this somber, he keeps trying to work to get on the field. Like whatever. This felt like a much more optimistic. Mike Vrabel was genuinely impressed with the work Treylon Burks has done and how he's been looking recently, to have that kind of tone in his voice and have that kind of response. So, yeah, my eyes are glued looking for 16 today.
Yeah, Dr. Durr, when I was talking with him about Treylon Burks and the turf toe, it was interesting. I asked him, because I thought this was interesting too, is if you hurt your toe, how do you stay in shape? How do you stay in cardiovascular shape while you're trying to rest? Because rest, and there's some other treatment things you can do, but rest is the main thing for it. And Dr. Durr said that, you can get in the pool and do a lot of work there in the pool with conditioning, or riding the bike. And like, you can ride the stationary bike as much as you want, but you ain't simulating routes on the bike. And so I would just be curious on how they were able to get him to have that type of conditioning. It's football, being a wide receiver, every position in the NFL or in the sport has a different definition of shape, right? Like wide receiver shape is how can you explode, and run a crisp, explosive route, then not get the ball, then jog 30 yards back to the huddle to get out there and go do it again.